Hey, this is Rick from Hiking Emergency Beacon, and today I'm out here with my Garmin inReach Mini 2 and my Spot X, and we're going to do a little field test today and go through a little bit of what's similar, what's not, and how they do in this field test. And specifically in this field test, I'm going to navigate, and let's just see what that turns out to look like. But first, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out some new incredible videos. Well, first of all, you can see that the size vastly different, and I'll put stuff on the screen here as far as the specs and the size, but weight, size-wise, you can see the difference yourself. Both of them are two-way messengers, and they can both call for SOS for search and rescue teams. One difference is on the two-way messaging though is the Spot X has a built-in keyboard, which is incredible. It's great. If you were to try to type a message on the Mini 2 by itself, you have to arrow around and it's not as convenient. When you can use this keyboard, it's a lot more convenient. So that's one of the big differences. Some other differences though, real quick, before we get into this navigation test, is that the Mini 2 or any of the Garmin inReach devices uses IERCC. It's a global search and rescue team, and it has global pole-to-pole coverage. Spot does not. Spot covers North America well, I believe Europe, but there's gaps over, I believe, in China, parts of India, definitely in the oceans there's gaps. So you want to be careful if you're traveling at all, make sure that you have coverage in the area that you live or are traveling to. Another thing that's different about the Garmin inReach Mini 2 is that you can sync to your phone. Now you can sync with Bluetooth to both of these. The syncing on the Spot X is really only about messaging. And I'll show you screenshots of all this. There's no weather, there's no maps, it's about messaging and SOS. But when you sync to your Mini 2, not only can you get search and rescue and two-way message, but you can see maps, you can get weather, you can create routes on your phone, and it's really simple. In fact, that's one of the things I'm going to show you out here today is creating a route out here as we navigate. So you've seen the specs and you've seen the size. Now let's get into this navigation and see how well it does when we navigate through actually those woods or trees right there. There's a point through there that has a great place that I've found to do videos. I have not gone this way before. And the problem with Spot X, I'll tell you this right up front, is it gives you a direction and it gives you a distance and you can navigate to that waypoint, but it's not as easy. Say for instance, I have to put a waypoint down where I'm at with Spot, or I have to put in coordinates. But with the Mini 2, I can look at the map and I can put that spot down, that waypoint, wherever I want. It's much easier to do. The other thing that you're going to see is where I'm going to be trying to get through these bushes over here, these trees. It's really hard because they're very prickly, and you'll think there's a great way to get through, and all of a sudden you get stuck. And you can't see anything on the Spot X other than, hey, that your waypoint is over here and it's 50 feet away. On the Mini 2, you can look at the map. You can create a route on the Explorer app, and you can wind through the trees if there was a visible way to get through, or you can actually look on your phone on the app and see a satellite image and see where there might be ways to get through easier than just going straight through that brush. But that's what we're going to get to right now. I'm going to put my chest strap on, put my camera here. I'll be able to show you what's going on with both of these devices. And let's go see if we can get through that brush over there. Okay, the first thing you always want to do is go to your settings, go to Bluetooth, make sure it's on, and make sure everything's connected. Right now it's saying my Mini 2 is not connected, and the inReach Messenger, well, I'm not using that today. And it's not showing my Spot X is connected either. So before we do this test, we have to make sure that everything is connected here, and then we can start our navigation test. All right, you can see right now the inReach Mini 2 is connected. Now I also want to double check the Messenger app because I do use that for the messages rather than the Explorer app. Because remember, when you use the Messenger app with the Mini 2, it'll work in cell service and satellite service, and it's faster if you're in cell service. So remember that. So it's showing connected up here. Now I'm going to go to the Explorer app, and it's showing my triangle there. And then if I turn this, you can see it's moving. So it does look like it's connected, but I'm going to check my devices. And it says here the inReach Mini 2. It looks to be connected. Let's go we're going to click on that arrow to the right, and see right here it says it's connected. I'll have screenshots up of all the stuff. All right, everything's good to go there. Now let's see if we're connected with the Spot X. And I can tell you right now, when I was just looking at it, the Spot X is not showing up here. So let's get into this and see if we can figure this one out real quick. I'm not seeing that it's connected here. It's not Bluetooth at the moment. Now, if this doesn't work, this isn't a big deal for this test, because when you're synced or have Bluetooth with your phone, you're only getting the SOS and the messaging convenience on your phone. And I'm not worried for this test today if it doesn't connect. I was connected yesterday, and then I'd want to know why it's not pairing now. But that's not important for the test today with this navigation. My phone did not pair or sync with the Bluetooth to the Spot X. Again, like I said, it's not important. We're going to go to navigate, and I want to navigate over to this one point. And so you can see it says compass, waypoint, settings, trip information. So I want to go to waypoints. And it has several that are already in here, but I need to navigate to a different waypoint. So I'm going to back arrow, I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to see, it says, well, here it's just GPS format north. I need to create a new waypoint. So let's go back to waypoints. And here it says plus. And let me go down to it. So I arrow down to it. So that's now that plus is highlighted. I'm going to select that. Current location. And I'm going to hit current location just for a minute. Oh, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to navigate to the spot. I'm going to create waypoint. Now this wants a name. So I'm just going to say open space or trail test. Let's just do that. Trail test. It's nice because there's a space bar right there. And I'm going to say space 1. And then I'm going to arrow down. See, this is your selector key here where you select everything. So I got a Q in there. I don't want that Q. Why is there a Q? So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to hit that. Wait, that's not what I wanted. I don't use this all the time. So you can learn right along with me. So now I'm going to arrow down to done. And it wants to know location. Now here's where it wants the northing and easting. Well, I don't have that unless I go look on my phone. So let's go look at the map. And I've already got a spot over here. And you can see where that, right there where that camera icon is at. That is where I want to go. You can see maybe, well, with the screenshot you can, there's a bunch of woods or trees in the way, and you just don't want to go right through that. But there looks like there's an easier way to get through to the right. And this is where it comes back to when I have the Spot X just pointing me over there, it would be a little bit more challenging to get to that. But when I can see where I'm at on the screen, then I can see there's a couple different ways that I can wind through the trees there. So I'm clicking on that, and see right here it shows me the northing and easting. Now I have never done this before, but let's just see how this works. Now I need to put in 30, so the northing is 39.29. And I need a 0.29 2726. All right, now we're going to go to easting, and it's 104.92. Let's see, 924293. Now let's double check this. I always hear things with contractors say measure twice, cut once, right? So we're going to check our coordinates and then navigate once. All right, so it should be 39.29, 2726, that's correct. 104.924293, that is correct. So I'm going to go down here to done on the spot X. And I could put elevation and all that if I wanted to, but I could also add a note here. And what I'm going to do is I will add a note, and I'm going to say field test. Arrow down to done. Hit select. All right, so we seem to be ready to go. Now there's an arrow right here, and I think that means to go follow that. It doesn't pop up here and tell you anything about it, but I'm going to hit on this arrow icon. And so now, yes, I'm not sure how well this works. That's pointing north. So it says destination. Huh. Well, it's got me in another world. See, there's a problem, and this is where I need to be able to test this. Lat long, it's showing a different lat long, or was that where I'm at? See, this is the problem right here. It says I've got 10,000, almost 11,000 kilometers, so that is not correct. We need to stop that. Stop navigating. That's why you do field tests. Come out here and make sure you have your stuff together so that you don't go traveling to the end of the world and nobody can find you. Okay, now let's get out of this. Let's go back here because something went wrong on this. So we're going to navigate by waypoints. Now I'm going to go to field test, and here is, I'm going to go back down to the location. And this is not making sense. I must have entered something incorrectly. So it says north. No, well, no, oh, here's the problem. See, it says north and east. But on this right here, it's supposed to be a northing and a westing. That's the problem. You always got to make sure you get it all right. But this is where, even though once we entered it, we need to make sure that we have, you know, that it makes sense. You got to have some common sense here. Let's get rid of the easting. I want it to say west. Okay, so I couldn't delete it, but when I hit W, then it did go in and put 104. It put a negative in. Can I get rid of that negative? Yes, I can. But it said easting now, so now I go back. So it must be that when you put in west, it gives you a negative. Let's hit enter, go down, hit done. And then we're going to go down, arrow down here again to this arrow here at the bottom. And then we're going to see if this makes sense. Now, this does make sense. It says it's 205 meters. The arrow is pointing back to my left. That's the direction. So now if I turn right here, let me just do something before I turn around. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to turn. If I turn right here, then that arrow should start pointing. It might take a second, because remember, when you're dealing with satellites, it takes a little time for them to coordinate or to get information. It says distance, there's distance, lat long, heading 300. What I don't like right now, and there it goes. See, the arrow is now pointing pretty much in the direction I need to go, but it's jumping around quite a bit. But I'm going to put this down for 1 minute, and because all this is telling me here is that I'm going to go, well, right now it's saying I'm going to go that way, which is not correct. But you see the arrows jumping all over the place. This is a problem with navigating with this. Honestly, I don't like it. And if I follow that arrow right there, it's not going to take me, because I know where I need to go, and that arrow's pointing me over to the left. All right, let's take a look at what I see when I navigate with the Mini 2. Okay, when I navigate with the Mini 2, I can see this blue arrow right here is where I'm at, and I'm going to have a screenshot of that. I know that camera location is where I need to go, but here's a really nice part. There's a way to get through these trees. So I'm going to hit this plus arrow at the top, and it says create waypoint. All right, I'm going to create the waypoint. Now, no, wait, let me go back. It says, let me do that again. Plus, it says create course. I did not want the waypoint. I've already got a waypoint. I need to create a course. Now, this is what's nice. I can just touch the screen. So see, there's a way it looks like I can get through right there. So I'm going to touch the screen, and I'm going to just go and see we're going right through the trees. And then I'm going to hit save, and it wants to know, actually I should go back there. I wanted to show you that. Well, I didn't. Okay, so I now said save, and I can give it a name. And so let's call this, where's my name at? I just click on there. So that's right here, December 18th. We're going to call this field test. I'm just call it field test 1. Hit OK. And now you can see it says field test 1. It says go. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull my screen. Well, I can't pull that back out. I was trying to zoom out. And I'm going to hit go. Now it's wanting to know if what I want to navigate by. I have my Phoenix 7X I can navigate by, or the Mini 2. I want to navigate by the Mini 2 and enable tracking. Sure. So I'm enabling tracking, and now it's communicating. It's syncing with my Mini 2. If I turn right now while it's still syncing, see my arrow now just pointed in the direction of the trail. Now this is where I'm going to pull out my Spot X and show you this as we do this. I want to start walking. There's a plane flying over my head, so when that plane leaves, I'll talk to you again. One thing I did read on the Spot website was that you don't want to just go vertical or flat with the Spot. You want to hold it at a 45 degree or so to the sky. And you can see right now, my Mini 2 basically has me pointing along the trail pretty good. I'm off the trail a little bit, so I'm going to turn to the right, but on the Spot, it's telling me to go directly left. And that is not the case, because I know where I'm going out here. So my Mini 2, the great thing about it is, now my Mini 2 is beeping at me because I think it showed or said that I was off course. It's another great thing about the Mini 2 and the Mini. It'll tell you and audibly, or at least the Mini 2 does here, it'll visually and audibly tell you if you're off course. Now another thing about the Mini 2 on screen, you can see behind you the trail that you have left, and in front of you it's magenta, behind me it's a light blue, a cyan. Again, if I were following my Spot, I would be going a little off course. Well, now it's saying pretty close to where I want to go, but remember, I'm following this course on my Mini 2 because I can see a potential way through those trees up ahead. And I'll stop and look. See that one big pine tree right in front of me? There's a path, not a path, but a little clearing through that pine, to the left of that pine tree. I think that's where I'm going. But again, let's keep following this. Now the Spot X is better now, but remember, it's always an issue of you've got to give these satellites time to communicate with your device. But you stick with me to the end here, and I'll tell you which one I like better, but I think I've already given it away. I'll just stop real quick and show you. This is Dawson's Butte. That's Dawson's Butte right there. It's a beautiful open space trail. It's a loop about 5 miles, and there's other trails that branch off, but it's a great spot to come out here for me to video and test these satellite messengers. I had somebody one time, and evidently he wasn't from the US, but he said, You call that hiking? I'm like, well, no, I don't call this hiking. I call this a great place to get out and test my satellite messengers. Hiking in Colorado is can be really tough and challenging with the 13,000, 14,000 foot peaks and really rough country all over. So no, I am not hiking. I'm walking through a nice open meadow, and I'm about to go through some trees. Now let's talk about these devices here real quick. You can see the Spot X has me right now. I'm on track. It's close enough for me to have confidence that it's working, but you can see here on the Mini 2 or on the Explorer app that I'm angling slightly to the right on this path to go through these trees. If I were following the Spot X, I go right through those trees. But because I can see an aerial with my Mini 2, I can go around. Now there's two different ways through here. See, there's another way, I think, right through there, and that might go that direction, but there's another way here. So I'm actually getting off course slightly, but that's okay. It's all a test. But remember, these satellite messengers are only accurate to within 20 to 50 feet, depending on which one you have. You can see on that screen below, it showed me going off to the right, but now it shows me back on course. Now the Spot's showing me going to the right, which is fine, because my waypoint is to the right now, which is good. The Spot X is showing me that I need to go to the right, but again, going to the right still takes me through these. If you're using the Spot X, you have to use a lot of common sense and keep your eyes open. If you're using a Garmin inReach Mini 2 Explorer, I guess you could close your eyes a little bit more. Now see, here is where I wanted to get. There's another pine tree right here, and this is where I put a waypoint down, because as some of you might know, some past videos, some people come out here. These photographers like to do family photos with children right where I have liked to do my videos quite a bit. So I was wandering through here and I found a different spot, and this is it. And the reason this is it is there's trees around, the wind noise is less, but when I was just wandering through here and looking, oh, by the way, it says have 100, so that's 200 feet to go. That's not true. But you can see right here, I'm right on top of my waypoint on the Explorer app. But the reason I like this right here is because I'm away from everybody. See, navigation field, I've stopped. That's the Explorer app. And evidently I'm right where I want to be. And you can see from the screen, I'm there. I'm exactly on my waypoint. And this is where I want to be able to see the mountains here, yet I have the privacy around me. I'm a little bit lower than the other surrounding hills around me. There's trees, and nobody comes back here, at least not that I'm aware of. I've never seen anybody back here, and I can do some great videos. Now you may say, they're not that great at videos. Okay, fine. I'm not going to argue with on that one. But here's the deal. Let's wrap up this navigation. The Spot says I have 200 feet to go, which is absolutely not correct. I am within 10-20 feet here where I know I put this waypoint down. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this navigation, and let's wrap this test up. Now this one here, the Spot X says start navigating, so it definitely has stopped. But I want to check my Mini 2 and just see if it says anything about if it's still navigating. All right, I think what's going on, there's an icon right here and it shows that I'm tracking. Let's go figure out how to take a screenshot. We are going to go to settings and we're going to go to system, and we're going to arrow down to screenshots. It says it's on. We're going to turn it off. And then we're going to turn it back on. It says press and hold the up button and the OK button at the same time. All right, that's easy. Let's just hold it. There it goes. You have to hit both the up and the OK and continue holding it till it says screenshot taken. All right. Let's wrap up this test if you don't mind, because you probably do mind. I said wait till the end, and this is the end. But what satellite messenger do you think that I like the best? And I'm not even going to give you an option to say it, because I know you're already saying it. But I like the Mini 2 the best. I'm telling you what, if you have a Spot device, they are really good satellite messengers, and they were my first satellite messengers. The Spot Gen 3 was my first one. I now have a Spot Gen 4, and I have the Spot X, and then I went and bought the Spot X Bluetooth. I tell you, I'm going broke. But if that's what you have, that's great. Use it, but make sure you have coverage where you're at. And the other thing is you are limited. Spot is really about messaging, and really a lot of these are. The primary focus with the inReach devices also is about messaging and SOS and getting help if you're in a life-threatening situation. Now, I want to break in a little moment here of public service broadcast for all of you. Make sure that you don't hit SOS if it's not a life-threatening situation, because you can get charged. And it just depends. Now I think I pay $4 or $5 a month for an insurance if they came out and rescued me. But there is a charge sometimes from the rescue teams, not the search and rescue center, not from IERCC or Garmin or Spot. It's from the rescue teams that may charge you. Just a heads up there, okay? So as you can see, when I was navigating with the Spot X, it gave me a true direction, but it bounced around a lot because the satellite systems and maybe the accuracy of how many satellites are up, and are you in a wooded area, a lot of mountains or cliffs around. It can affect your accuracy. But what you saw was, and hopefully you saw it really well, because I don't know how to do screenshots on a Spot, but it was not that accurate when I was starting out. It was telling me at some times to go directly left, 90 degrees left. And this is where I just mentioned here. When you're navigating with a satellite messenger, take some time, slow down, maybe have a conversation. If you're by yourself, you're gonna, okay, talk to yourself. But wait for a minute. Let that satellite system and your device communicate and give you a better opportunity, a better chance of success to know it's pointing in a more accurate direction. Then when I was coming up here, and you can see from behind me right here, these, I call them scrub oaks. They just are really difficult to get through. And it was pointing me right through the middle of the heavy part of these scrub oaks. And so it's great if you don't have a way to navigate. Go ahead, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's good to use if you don't have anything else, but just be careful. You really got to use your head when you're navigating and you're only given a direction and a distance. Now, when I did reach this area right here, it was telling me I still had 200 feet to go. But I know I put my waypoint down right here. Again, always check your northing and eastings, because as I had put in my northing and easting, it was really a northing and westing. And if you're in south of the equator, then it would probably, I think it's probably a south and a east or west. A south for the longitude, and then the east-west. Again, just pay attention, use your head when you're navigating with any device. Now, what I really liked about the Mini 2 is you have the ability on the device itself, if you've already created a route. And a lot of times before I go out, I'll create a route on the Explorer web page through Garmin, and I'll create my route before I even come out here, and I'll save it. But when you're out here, just like you saw, I didn't have a route to this point, but I was able to create a route with the app, and just, oh, it's so nice because you just click on the screen and you have the aerial, you have the topo, there's all kinds of different maps you can have access to. But with the aerial, I could see a couple different paths through these scrub oaks here. And so I was able to follow my route, and it wasn't, yes, it was going to the waypoint, but it was following the route to the waypoint. It's nice. You have the big screen with my phone, and everybody's different in how you navigate, or you use your satellite messenger. Some people don't want to use their phones. Some people want to just rely on the device itself. That's great. I tend to do more day hikes, and I'm fishing or hunting or camping, and I have the ability to charge my phone and my devices, so I'm not worried about that. I like the convenience of using my phone. I like the big screen. I have this attached right here on a backpack tether. This is another really nice thing about this. This backpack tether with the Velcro right here. You can get it from Garmin, and I'll have some information up on the screen. Get it from Amazon also, but it connects a lot easier than the Spot. And there's different ways you can make connection better, and you can strap things around, but I have to use my trekking pole attachment or loop right here when I'm using my Spot, so that this isn't just flopping all over the place, because it does. If I don't have something holding the base of this down, I'm walking around climbing over stuff, and it really is flopping everywhere. So that's why I always test when you go out, because you test how you're going to carry something, where it's going to go on your pack. Does it have a good view of the sky? I would say right now, because this is higher, my Mini 2 has a better view of the sky. Now this is down low. I do have another attachment up here. I can move this higher, but then I don't have the ability to use my trekking pole attachment to keep this from bouncing all over the place. All right, have you seen enough? Do you know that the Mini 2 is my favorite? I'm not sure the Mini 2 is necessarily my favorite over every device. I will say today, as of today, the Mini 2 is my favorite because it's small, it's powerful, it syncs to my phone. It's great for the way I use it. I am testing my GPS Map 66i more to see if that might become my #1 satellite messenger. But today, I'm just saying, if you're comparing and you're looking at the Mini 2 or the GPS Map 66i, there's all kinds of satellite messengers that Garmin puts out. But if you're comparing Garmin to Spot, sorry Spot, and sorry for all of you who love Spot X and the Spot Gen 3s and Gen 4s, go with the Garmin. If you don't have a lot of money, go look at the Spot Gen 4, or if you can still get it, the Gen 3, but the Gen 4's replaced it. If you don't have that money and you just want a way to message people, or the Gen 4 is only one-way messaging, but if you want to at least get a message out or call SOS or let them be able to track you, then the Gen 4 is a great option. So money comes in and plays a part of this, but if you've got some extra money, go with the Mini 2, go with the GPS Map 66i, the Montana 700, 750i. That's more of an off-roading ATV type of a device, in my opinion. It's big. It's bigger than this. But that's one of my next devices and what I'm going to get. But when I'm driving out in the mountains, I want to be able to look at that, because it also gives road directions, not just directions on a trail, or it helps you navigate on a trail. Real quick heads up, my next video is going to be an SOS test with my Mini 2 calling the IRCC on Thursday this week. I believe it's Thursday the 22nd at 7 a.m. Mountain Central Time. Mountain Central Time, that doesn't make sense. Mountain Standard Time. I've already set the test up. I'm going to be contacting them using the SOS on this, and just make sure it works. And that'll be a video where I show you. I'll have the video on when I'm doing it, and we'll just see how well it really works. They say they're supposed to contact me. We have this little talk, make sure everything's all good, and then I'm going to cancel the SOS. Anybody can do this test, not just somebody who's got a business and is doing videos. Anybody can test this. But they do say it takes you need to do it 72 hours before your test to make sure it all gets set up correctly. But anyway, that's the next video coming up. Thanks for joining me. I have a feeling this video went too long, but thanks for joining me here in Colorado, and I will see you on the next SOS IERCC test.